All right, good afternoon. My name is Julio Burgos, and today I'll be giving you guys an informative speech on the global rise of soccer. Today, we'll be discussing the origins of the sport, popularity around the world, comparing it to the other big sports events, and soccer's popularity in the United States. All right, so to understand why soccer has become such a prominent sport and so popular, right, we have to examine like the origins of the sport, its worldwide growth, the impact the World Cup has around the world, and the increasing popularity in the United States. Sports plays a major role in cultures around the world. In the United States, football, basketball, and baseball dominate the sport landscape. However, internationally, soccer is the most followed sport on earth and has billions of fans across the world. So to understand the global influence, we first need to look at where the sport actually began. So the origins of soccer. Modern day soccer, as we know it, didn't start quite yet, but around in ancient civilizations of China, Greece, and Rome, they played early versions of the sport. And it wasn't until 2,000 years ago, during the Han Dynasty in China, where people were kicking around a leather ball and trying to get it into like a small opening, that actually became what we call soccer, right? In the 1800s in England is where like the sport was actually formalized. Rules were actually set into place, and the sport spread because of the colonies that England had around the world. That's how they kind of spread the sport around the world. And the influence that Britain had is what kind of made the sport more prominent and actually got it separated from rugby. All right. In 1904 is when the FIFA was established. The FIFA is pretty much like the federation for soccer worldwide. The first World Cup was instituted in 1930 with 13 teams competing. And today FIFA has 211 associate members, which is larger than the UN. All right, popularity around the world. The popularity of soccer around the world is pretty much unmatched. Soccer is played in about 200 countries and territories. It is, according to the FIFA, the 2002 FIFA World Cup reached about 5 billion people worldwide, right? So we have 7 billion people in the world right now, approximately, and 5 billion people at some point in time during the World Cup watched the game, right? Just to put that in perspective. The World Cup, for you guys that don't know, is the biggest sports event in soccer, where it unites the best national teams and they compete every 4 years. The final in 2022, which was between Argentina and France, gathered an audience of 1.5 billion viewers in a single sports event. All right, comparing it to the major US sports, right? So as you can see, according to the FIFA, right, the final for 2022 gathered 1.5 billion viewers. The Super Bowl, last year's Super Bowl, gathered around 127 million. The NBA Finals gathered around 11 million. And the Baseball World Series around 15 million viewers per game. The Super Bowl is obviously like the biggest annual sports event in the US, but internationally, obviously, soccer is kind of what dominates. The World Cup final audience is 10 times larger than the Super Bowl audience, and some of the clubs have some of the largest fan bases in all of sports. Soccer's popularity in the United States is increasing, right? So in 1996, the MLS, which is the Major League Soccer, which is pretty much the US Soccer League, had only 10 teams. Now in 2026, they have 30 teams. Players like Lionel Messi, right? I think everybody here knows who that is, right? He joined the Inter Miami team, and that kind of gathered a lot of viewers from around the world. So it kind of increased the league's value and the viewership. And also the US is hosting a second World Cup, the first one being in 1994. And then currently, right now as we speak, the 2026 World Cup is being hosted here in the US. Younger generations have shown an increased interest in soccer, with research showing that soccer continues to gain popularity among American sports fans ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. It is said that soccer is going to pass baseball as the third most watched sport in the U.S. So just to put that in perspective. All right, so soccer's rise is becoming the world's most popular sport is a result of centuries of development. The sport began with early games organized in England and expanded worldwide through the FIFA and international competitions. Events like the FIFA World Cup demonstrate soccer's unmatched global reach. That concludes my speech. I hope everybody learned something from it. Thank you.